Sometimes the Bible will make a claim which does not fit the data on the ground. Simply put, the authors of the biblical text got it wrong. Let me give you an example. Megiddo, the most celebrated site and the place used in the attempts to identify King Solomon. That is, if you want to identify Solomon on the ground, then it's at Megiddo. We are told in the biblical text that Solomon built Megiddo together with Hazor in the north and then Giza. In the beginning of research, the stables at Megiddo were associated with Solomon. The palaces, that is the two palaces at Megiddo, was suggested as a symbol for the greatness of King Solomon. Yigal Hadin was the first to excavate in the 60s, and he presented one of the palaces as the ultimate symbol of the greatness of Solomon. Well, we have come to find out that these do not date to the time of Solomon. In the last 17 years, because of radiocarbon studies, which is free of all biblical considerations, we now know that what was said to be built by Solomon, both in the biblical text and in the beginning of research, do not belong to the 10th century, where Solomon is dated. You can argue about a biblical verse, but much more difficult to argue about radiocarbon. The palace at Megiddo is dated to the 9th century, which will be 60 to 80 years after the time of Solomon. Which period are we in then? Well, it means we are entering into the time of the great Omride dynasty of the northern kingdom, which does not include Judah. So the palace that the Bible dates to the time of Solomon rather dates to the time of Ahab or Joram, the last of the Omrides. These are the greats of the northern kingdom, who are attested in Syrian records as great. Still at Megiddo, the Bible goes on to tell us that Solomon had lots of horses and chariots. We are even told he imported horses from Egypt to trade them. These stables were the symbol of Solomon starting from 1920s for over 50 years. What we know now is that these horses were connected to the northern kingdom rather. We have Shalmaneser III speaking about these horses in the Battle of Karka, the horses of Ahab, not Solomon. Recognizing that Ahab from the northern kingdom was a very mighty king. The horse master of Megiddo is not Solomon as the biblical text makes it. No chance. The stables are dated to the 8th century BCE, which brings us to the second great moment of the kingdom of Israel, the northern kingdom. And this was under King Jeroboam II. The stables are not Solomon's. The stables are Jeroboam II's, one of the greatest kings of Israel and Judah combined from the north. This is how sometimes the biblical text will make a claim, but the data and the facts on the ground disagree. Why is that? The authors of the Bible were not writing history as we know it. They are writing what I would call history based on religion.